different ships, one we want and one we don't. When the Donald Duckling sailed here into the Tyne in November, she was declared unfit. Now, her owners abandoned her and the crew, who languished here for 2 months without food, pay or fuel. Well, a fortnight ago, a group of well-wishers managed to raise the funds to send the 11-man Filipino crew home. But they've left behind a crippled vessel with an uncertain future and a mountain of debt. So what happens next?
Thank you very much and happy New Year.
Homeward bound, a moment they thought would never come.
We are very happy that we are going home.
Their ordeal is over, but the questions have only just begun.
I'm going home. Bye-bye, okay.
The crew's plight began 6 months ago when they joined the ship in Gibraltar. The Donald Duckling had already been detained for 121 days there after authorities identified safety concerns. Their first trip was to become a nautical nightmare off the coast of Morocco. Provisions ran dangerously low.
All is gone. Water, fuel, food, everything on the ship gone.
They were forced to fish for food.
Everyday fishing for survive.
It made mealtime predictable, to say the least.
Breakfast squid, lunch squid and dinner squid.
In September, the Donald Duckling arrived at the Spanish port of Las Palmas in the Canary Islands, where it was detained again, this time with a list of 40 safety faults. It was held for another month, and then, to the surprise of the crew, it was allowed to set sail for the northeast of England.
Many things wrong on the ship. This is my worst ship I ever had.
The Donald Duckling arrived on the Tyne on November the 9th, chartered to carry thousands of tons of scrap metal from Newcastle to Korea. But once more, the ship was detained.
We just found so much wrong initially. We took the unusual steps of suspending the inspection, and we'll come back after they fix the deficiencies, and then we will go back and re-inspect.
We know that we will be detained again. It's very dangerous, unsafe to sail.
There was a lot of rust, a lot of decay. The food and provision store were completely empty. They had no fridges working, so it was a pretty dire situation for them.
The mission to seafarers and others provided meals as donations flooded in.
They only had 2 days' supply of food left, which is when we put the appeal out for anyone, and of course we got inundated with offers.
In many respects, this crew were lucky that they came to a port like this. They could have arrived anywhere in the world for a cargo and been in the same situation.
The British people, oh my God, the British people are very kindness and very, very good.
But as the weeks in port dragged on, and with the ship racking up tens of thousands of pounds in fees, nothing was being done to make it fit to sail. Why? Well, in answering that, we unravel a story that takes us around the world. The Donald Duckling is owned by a Taiwanese shipping company, TMT. The firm filed for bankruptcy protection last year, with debts reported at $800 million. Of TMT's fleet of 28 vessels, no less than 11 are either detained, arrested, idle, or have unpaid crew stuck on board. The Donald Duckling has a Romanian captain, an Indian first mate, and Filipino crew. The owners are Taiwanese, but it's flagged to the Central American state of Panama. Ships are often registered under flags of convenience to reduce operating costs or avoid the regulations of the owner's country.
Panama have a responsibility. If they take the ship and they take the money for the ship to be on its register, then they have a responsibility to make sure that ship is seaworthy, which this one isn't, and to make sure that the crew are being looked after effectively, which they're not. They've done absolutely nothing to rectify the situation. If this was a UK flag, then there's no way they would get away with it.
The Panamanian government told us it would have helped out, but despite requests, no one sent through the right paperwork. A new international law called the Maritime Labour Convention sets out the minimum working and living rights for seafarers. It's ratified by 53 countries, including the UK, but the saga of the Donald Duckling suggests the convention often isn't working. We've uncovered evidence that a Panamanian official inspected the Donald Duckling under the convention as recently as last October and gave it a clean bill of health. Its certificate is still valid.
They're clearly not following what they're signing up to. We're taking our responsibilities seriously. Unfortunately, I don't think Panama are at the moment.
The Panamanian government told Inside Out the certificate was only short-term and the convention has its full support. An international failure has become Tyneside's problem. The Donald Duckling has been abandoned on our doorstep, owing hundreds of thousands of pounds in fuel, fees and wages, and part loaded with a cargo of scrap metal worth more than £300,000. 12 days ago, the port of Tyne switched the vessel to the other side of the river.
It could take months, it could take weeks until some lawyer somewhere arrests or detains or pays the money and the ship can finally sail to somewhere else. But for the moment, we're just trying to make it safe, keep it secure.
But even if she's made seaworthy once more, she's going nowhere until her debts are paid. Government officials have now arrested the vessel on behalf of the firm which chartered it in the first place. A process that will be watched closely by its crew, even though they're now thousands of miles away. They left Newcastle Airport still owed thousands of pounds in wages, the cost of their trip back to the Philippines met by the International Transport Workers Federation. These are tears of relief to be finally going home. In contrast, there's one ship